but when females hear it, they instantly know something was off. So my question to you is,
did I know her voice was fake?
Yeah.
I knew, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that she was not talking like this, because when I hear women that talk like this, actually, I'm not going to say that. I'm sorry. I almost walked into
you almost walked into
some.
I don't condone that type of talking around.
I didn't believe that that's actually how she talked. And I've actually heard some girls with some like real deep ass voices though, like naturally.
Yeah.
But
it's not.
It seemed trained. Like I looked at the thickness of her neck. I was like, there's not enough space for the vocal cords to just naturally just be baritone. I'm full of shit right now, but I didn't believe it. And that has little to do with it for me. Yeah. But I think maybe there's some psychology behind it, because much like that same individual, a woman running a $9 billion company.
I think that was the psychology behind it. It's exactly. Like she did some study and said that women with deeper voice are more respected. And what do you think about that? Is it okay? I think it's okay method. No,
I think it's not so much that having the deeper voice is that she's more respected. I think that because of connotations that a lot of like bigot, sexist people have with certain types of females or certain types of like this is going to be very dangerous territory. So let me preface like I always do. For it. I'm not intending to harm or like mess up anybody's feelings right now.
Just
when
let
I say
your thoughts
this.
out, man.
But imagine if she was like, so guys, Theranos is like my big passion project. Yes. I'm so excited to bring it to you guys today. And that's more personality and voice, but like her being, okay, so we're here to talk about Theranos. I think that it's not so. They didn't have the opportunity to like
present their
categorize
ideas.
Her immediately as she has no idea what she's talking about. She's X, Y, and Z and all the other sexist bullshit. Yeah, I'm assuming she has less of it.
People are judgy by default, right? You can't deny the fact that based on physical tone, emotional, people are going to put you in a slot until you prove them otherwise. I mean, that's just the way the world works. And to not deny that, I think that's kind of foolish and ignorant. It's like you're completely closing your eyes on everything that's happening in the world, right? And sight, hearing, and all your senses plays a part in that. And I don't think there's an issue if she wants to change her voice around to sound,
No, please. We got people changing their whole gender.
That's fine. You think this is my voice? Yeah. I have a way deeper voice in real life. I actually talk like this all the time. I just want to make sure I balance Larry out. It doesn't sound right? So I fake my voice all the time. I don't squeak. But let's watch this because I still to this point, from all the clips and trailers I've seen and heard, I only heard her fake voice. I never heard her like regular voice. Let's
go to her MySpace profile from like 2006.
See the truth. Here we go. I'm gonna start playing this.
Happens when you work to change things, and first they think you're crazy. Then
right, first of all, when you see this, when you first saw it, because I looked her picture up. I have a thing with faces, right? Okay. I was like, oh yeah, she's creepy. And before even knowing, well, it's hard to say. Right? I had to look her up because I knew
the eyes for you is like she's got those eyes.
If you know it from every other podcast, there's something like that's. I'm gonna edit myself. Those eyes. If you wake up to those eyes, you don't. There's a chill that goes down your spine. You can't trust those eyes, man. You know what I mean, right? What's the biggest fear with men?
Okay, for me,
let's just say this. What's the biggest?
If eyes are unreadable, those are untrustworthy eyes because they feel disingenuous.
Yes.
Like when I smile, when I laugh, because like maybe my facial structure, like you see the similarities.
Yes,
between,
it's reacting with it.
You see upset, you see happy.
People can't
exactly.
If they smile fakely, they can't.
So I think that those are the subtleties that I don't necessarily say, oh, she's doing the thing where the eyes don't or do this. Like I'm not thinking about it that way. But I think that because of how often you see faces and see emotions.
You're trained to see the signs.
So when you don't see it, right, it's very like unassuming and it's off-putting because it feels very disingenuous and it just feels very like cyborgish.
Yeah, it's unfair with this video. They're putting creepy music behind it. I'm sure they put creepy music.
If you play it without audio, do we feel the same?
Yes.
Okay.
But I always... It's so hard to edit myself out, dude.
It's so risky to offer your true opinion.
Whatever. Here's my true opinion, right?
Because
I'm unemployed. I'm fine.
We're gonna get roasted one day.
All right, I'm gonna roast it one day. It's fine. Happen. This is my feelings on this, right? My number one fear when I wake up to women is to find myself castrated, right?
Oh, okay.
All right. Those eyes. those type of eyes, dude. When they like, you can see the thoughts.
Yeah.
Is like subliminal, and they're thinking one thing but saying another. You can't. It's very hard to train yourself, and this is where actors are very scary to me, right? Where they can like on demand create any emotions they want. But most regular people, and I know business leaders and all that, they're always looking to actors to kind of convey a message. They're not professional in that field. They can do their best, but the subtleties, like you kind of mentioned, can't be faked unless you have years and years of training. But okay, that's pretty safe, right?
Yeah.
I said it pretty safe. Oh man, I edit myself out so much now.
It's just Theranos has been.
Yeah, but those just the way she looks. I think the non-natural way of blinking, like the blinking is so rehearsed that it doesn't feel very natural. It's like my eye needs to blink now.
So it's like there's a piercing amount of eye contact with the camera.
Yes.
Almost.
And this has nothing to do with women. Yeah. Okay. All right. If you look at our other podcasts, I make fun of men a lot too. So okay, don't.
But I mean, I'm just evaluating what I see, right? Like
yes.
And like she's unbreaking eye contact with camera, very still, almost no fidget or like no natural kind of.
Yes.
When people talk a little with their body and hands, you know that the conversation is flowing.
Right.
And when people just kind of like deliver conversation, you know it's rehearsed, it's prepared, it's disingenuous.
Yes.
That's how I feel.
That's how I feel too. And again, if a guy does this too, I call bullshit 99% of the time.
And then all of a sudden you change the world. And
here's the big key. If you see someone talking to you and their chin is tucked into their neck, you know they're faking their damn voice. That's how we used to hit the high notes when we were kids. You put the chin in your throat and you hit that's how you hit the low notes.
Right.
Carbon, San
that's how I get
Diego.
my
You know what I mean?
voice.
That's what we used to do. We tuck the chin. That's how you hit the low notes.
Meeting with her shortly after he joined, and it was late in the day, and they were finishing up the meeting. And
this music is not helping.
This is unfair, man.
To catch a predator. I mean, Theranos.
Hey, Theranos. Play the story, guys. Oh my god.
Sounding young woman's voice.
Was everything about Elizabeth Holmes a fraud?
A lot of it was.
This is where like the sound designer finally like gets to live what he went into business for. You know what I mean? When they're working on broadcast, that's not what they went for.
No, it hasn't. Well, if I use traditional words to describe what we're doing, it's hard.
Oh shit! I missed that.
Because people don't. No, it hasn't. Well.
See, that voice sounds more.
She covered her tracks.
Well, if I use traditional words to describe what we're doing, it's hard because people then associate it with conventional processes for analyzing drugs in development. Or
all you got to do is like find people who went to high school with her on Facebook.
No, it hasn't.
You know what I mean?
If I use traditional words.
But like when she does this, right? Can you deny that it worked in her favor?
I'll say this. Let's just be honest. I even have done it myself, which is. I'm very cognizant of people around me and their comfort levels with me and like things like that. For better or for worse. I'm going to say for better or for worse.
Right.
And one of the things that I did find even in my own success in making people more comfortable with my presence was not actually talking with my natural voice, but trying to be a little more upbeat. See,
this is the first time.
No, but it's true.
Like, no, it's true because I've known this guy for years. And it was a certain point where I'm so used to all types of your voices where I didn't think anything of it, right? But when you finally sat me down, well, I mean, like we have different tones, I have different tones too because when I get super excited, I go super high and start talking like this, right? But I'm like that's like part of my personality. So I just like, oh, this is Larry's part of his personality. But it wasn't until Larry pointed out, no, I have my work voice, Brandon, and I have my friend voice. Yeah. And I was like, what? Yeah. What do you mean? So can you demonstrate?
Oh, sure. So normally if I'm relaxed, my voice is a little more bass, a little more baritone like this. Yeah. I can even take it lower if I wanted to. Yeah. But in new jobs or like just in places where I didn't necessarily know how well I was going to fit in right away and I really wanted to feel it out. Yeah. And I knew I was sticking out like a sore thumb for obvious reasons. Yeah. I'd be like, hey, okay, so what's up, guys? So happy to be here. Yeah, my name's Larry. Awesome. Nice to meet you. This is cool.
So you think that door guy from Section Studios had a real voice that he's hiding?
Man, fuck this job. And then he comes in, hey, guys, what's up? That guy?
Yeah, right? You think he has a real voice?
I
think he has a real bass voice.
I think that voice that we saw was actually his voice. Oh, did you hear him talk when the guy did the homeless guy pants off?
Oh, yeah.
Did his voice change?
Oh, I didn't pay attention enough.
That's when you know when people get caught off guard.
Don't look at him. Don't look at him. That's all I remember. He was mumbling a lot, so it's like a lower volume. It's hard to mumble with the high.
I'll tell you what. He's pulling a real Kaiser Soze if that's not his real voice, because it's like
it's got to be a bit of that.
The animation and the voice like completely matches.
But the people when I'm reading, I'm a people watcher, right?
Yeah.
People who go that has an extreme behavior or personality, their true self was always the other extreme because you're compensating for it, right?
So he's a stone cold.
Or you're like you're like very conscious, obviously, to make that decision to go super high or super low, and so there's element to it for sure.
I guess the drawback of my own personal experience, I was no more or less a threat, right? Just because my voice changed.
Yeah.
So like I was actually not really changing your safety level.
Yeah.
But your comfort level, I was changing.
You're more
you know what I mean? So like I was trying to do my best to make sure that like whatever off-putting reasons people had for trying to engage with me, I could at least get rid of 2 or 3 of them by whistling whenever I went around.
And this is a learned behavior, right? Because you've always been 6 foot
I've been really tall.
Big dude, right?
I actually don't blame people as much as I used to. Like, it used to make me really angry.
Oh, really?
I felt like, man, can't I just be a person?
Yeah. No, like, Larry, you're 6'5".
No, but it's I understand a little more, and I at least appreciate if someone has a fearful moment and is like, man, I'm really sorry I did that, or like X, Y, and Z.
Was it because of anything in particular, or was it just you recognizing it yourself, or someone had to like, hey, I'm a tall big guy too. This is just the way. It wasn't anything like that.
You notice how people treat you, right? Like. To the people doing the thing that they think is a safety mechanism for themselves and their feelings, they're like, oof, those 2 seconds were really scary. I'm so glad I could pretend to look at my phone while I walked by.
Right.
To the person who's receiving those, it's...
Yeah, all the time.
It is a lifetime of these 2 seconds that build up and build up and build up and build up and build up. So for that person who thinks it was like, oh, it was just a moment. I mean, I know I'm a good person. To the other person...
It's every day.
It is a constant occurrence, and they're constantly seeing that, like, for some reason, people are trying to avoid eye contact, avoid space, or like try to overly be friendly and like.
that's
you know what I mean?
I've witnessed this. Everyone that's watching and listening. Like, there are 2 extremes when people interact with you for the first time. They go overly friendly, or
there's
they
a lot of overboard,
avoid, and they go across the street, right?
You were like, I don't see you whatsoever. Like, literally should see you and like text message right at that time. Give myself an excuse. I'm not gonna hurt you.
Yeah. But it is.
I know what jail is.
Yeah. So I think she gets an unfair amount of criticism with her voice changing because of like the political climate in a business place. It is misogynistic and very judgmental, both on the women, well, especially on the women's side, but also on the men's side, right? So there's adjustments we all have to make to make sure that we fit in and just be valued for the skill set and not about all the other shit, right? So I think it's unfair that they keep shitting on her voice. It is funny, right? But even Michael Jackson changes. Have you seen all those clips, dude? Where he has like, have you heard about this theory that he actually has a deep ass voice?